I should probably stop hitting the space button when you're on me because then I'm like, bang, pow, bang, pow. But to get a little bit more serious, in the lower right-hand corner is the Protoss. AT fighting. Ooh, is the Protoss who is always behind, but he is now the underdog, so he's up in our hearts. He is JayPower, and in the upper left-hand corner of Ahana, it is going to go ahead and be the green Zerg,
Oh,
who
this
is now
is
officially ooh,
yeah. Wish lagging.
chill, get out. Is that joke still funny? No, that joke was never funny. But I'm still going to say chill, get out. In the upper left-hand corner, it's the green Zerg, who I think made a lot of very good calls, was brazen enough to go Mutas versus Phoenix already established. It is This Game Sucks from AT.
Yes, and I don't know why he's saying this game sucks when he's so good at it. Like,
He was, all right, let's face it. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He got more than your money's worth for those mutas, and you typically wouldn't get that much. You wouldn't get that return on the dollar spent.
not really. So
Okay.
yes, he did get a lot out of it, but I feel like it. I mean, he did work his butt off for it as well. He was moving around the map constantly with
Without
them.
without a doubt, he played it very well. But even playing it well, he got 15 free zealots. He got a couple of free sentries. He forced double Phoenix production because a couple of Phoenixes were lost at the beginning. 3 Phoenixes were lost before the real skirmishes began. And none of that had to do with his exceptional play. Now, he astounded me with switching into the Roaches. Checking for that third, he played it out very, very well. But I think even he would admit he got a really supreme rate of return. He got a LIBOR scandal rate of return on those mutas. Yeah, I can do banking jokes too.
Showing us all that you know everything about everything.
Oh, I don't know.
Is
Oh man.
that is really good. And I mean, this is the thing that I mean, I have to give credit to this build as well. Not only the way that JayPower is doing it, because he's doing it in a really good, really smart way. He's executing it really well. But this is what happens when you go for Gateway first, and then even going into to the Cyber Core, and not just going Gateway into Forge like some people do. You know, Grubby, a Dutch person. It is forcing your opponent to get an early extractor, get drones off of minerals. You know, get the gas, get the speed, not get the super early third. So it is paying for itself in a couple of ways. So even though I don't like the build, it's still a good build. I just don't like playing it. So I just felt I had to get off my chest.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I think emotional analysis is very good for players of less than the highest caliber. It certainly helped me. I mean, I fought my way up from bronze, and a person that really helped me with that was Heshe. He's not really around anymore. It's very sad. But he used to stream every night, and after he got his mic, he goes like, "Oh, on this map, I really want to do this. That's a better strategy, but I don't feel like it. And you should do what you feel like because then you'll be happier and play more and play better." And I took that advice to heart. Nothing wrong with it.
No.
Have fun playing a game, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's. I mean, unless you're Idra, I feel like that is something you really need to do. Idra seems to be able to excel at and also have
Channel hate.
Yeah, and also constantly do something he hates. Which
Yes.
is, not all of us can do that. Now we see the early aggression coming out from the Protoss again, and it will do some damage. If he goes for the third, which it seems like he's going to do, he will most likely be able to even cancel it or take it down to such a low hit point amount that he can then do some type of a little bit later on run by if he so chooses to do some more damage to it.
Apparently, This Game Sucks is also 13. So there you go.
Yeah, yes. He said so earlier in the chat
I'm-
while we were speaking Swedish. I forgot to talk about it. That's the thing we were talking about. And he has played JayPower before, and he won that series. So they have a little bit of history behind them. And now speed does kick in. He kills up the Zealot this time. JayPower will manage to save the Stalker though, because this map is roughly half the size of the other one. He will go for
with this amount of lings, he should really be aiming for those rocks. I feel like, but no, he's going to try and force the force field, and he gets it.
Yeah, he loses a couple of lings to it, and really, I mean, to JayPower's credit again, he waits until his Stalker is out of shields, and then he places down the force field. He's not lost 4 hit points on the Stalker, which is, you know, as close to a perfect force field timing as you can get. So really, really smart play there. Really just maximizing the amount of time that he can get out before he needs to place around that force field without, you know, taking constant existing damage. Now going for Phoenix again.
I want to ask you about this.
Yeah.
Given what we saw last game, how do you feel about the decision to go into a single Stargate again?
I feel it speaks volumes about his mindset.
Okay.
I feel he doesn't think that this game sucks was better than him. He feels like he did mistakes, and we could see from the way he played, he made a couple of mistakes as well. So probably felt like, well, if I hadn't made those mistakes, it probably wouldn't have snowballed the way that it did. The mutants wouldn't have given him the insane map presence that he had. So he's looking to improve onto this, and just I think that he is, at least.
Okay, no, I love opinions. Phoenix is doing a good job looking around the map for overlords. Haven't killed their daily regiment yet of them. You know that they want to eat as many as possible. Looks like they will get another 1 or 2 before the rest of the overlords are recalled.
So close to getting that one. If you had flown for 2 seconds longer, you would have seen that overlord. But no, he wants to go down and get the much juicier prize, the Overseer. The guy that has cost the gas.
He's delicious. He is basically immortal at this point because they said, you're going to leave and hard the swarm. And he said, no, I'm not. And they're like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I guess you can stay.
I feel they should. I feel that they are very unutilized. Some players, and that's mostly the Brood War pros that are starting to switch off, are actually using the Overseers in a greater extent than the other guys. They are not just moving on in and then scouting a little bit and perhaps dropping down a changeling or two. They are actually using the last thing that you have, the creep poopy thing that makes, for instance, hatcheries no longer spawn larvae, which is insane in a CPC.
It's true. Corruption is a very powerful and underutilized spell, and I fully admit that I've never harnessed its full power. These Phoenix is doing a great job just picking off the occasional roach. They've already taken map control. They've caused a lot of trouble here. So you're right, he's looking very comfortable this time around with this Phoenix play. That being said, he is still a base behind. He's starting to chrono boost out Void Rays. He needs to do a lot more damage than he's done to make this Stargate useful.
Yeah, he is. And I mean, here's another thing that pros say, because I like to listen to the pros. They mostly know what they're talking about. And this is another one of those ET players. Stefano has said that if you see and scout and notice that he's going Stargate, just screw it all, build units and walk across the map and kill him.
Indeed. You mentioned that last time we talked, and it's good advice. It has been for the last 6 months, and it will be until Heart of the Swarm comes out and everything gets a little bit reworked.
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially with Phoenix, like the Void Ray can of course kill off tons of stuff, and the force fields that are out are going to be able to defend. But now that he's out of on the map and walking around, two sentries are not going to be that useful. So the power of JayPower is not quite there yet. He shouldn't be this far across the map, I feel. He can get caught out of position and then just get absolutely stomped. We'll just have to wait and see. There we see 2 force fields coming out, really nice blink macroing as well, just moving as far back as possible. And I mean, both of them are playing really well at this point as well, lifting up the infestors. I'm losing my mind trying to cast this. It's really good as well, but as you can see, with the amount of roaches, he's just powering through this. He's attacking from behind a little bit as well, and now there's not that much that can happen, and the Void Ray...
Yeah, with that Void Ray gone and the energy down on the Phoenix, this is a bad position. Roach is coming in to snipe those sentries. That is all that is keeping this Protoss push alive. That other sentry goes down, and it is... Suddenly, this game sucks is in an amazing position, but he's not going to keep pushing. He's going to wait for his next round of reinforcements, some more energy on his infestors maybe. Very mature of him. He's already got more intellectual maturity than I do. Damn it.
Yeah. That happens when you're a Sweden, you're a young guy.
Great Fungal goes down, the reinforcements are out, more roaches after this, but I don't imagine in any way, shape, or form that this game sucks is against trading roaches for stalkers. No way, no how. Not when he's up a base, and not when they're that much cheaper. He's even got his macro hatch up. I'm starting to hear the song of a fat lady in the distance, sir.
It certainly does feel that way. It's really hard to keep on all-inning like this against the Circus. He can absolutely just out-macro and out-produce you. He's also building tons of speedlings, which is the exact thing that you want to have. Especially when your opponent is as gracious as JayPower is to take down the rocks to
Now,
give you
I
even
don't
more.
that. I didn't want to say it, but why would you go John Henry on those rocks? That is the exact opposite. Ugh. The speedlings are here. The investors will have a lot of energy are sitting next to the spore crawler. Things are just being held together with spit tape and wishes at this point.
Yeah, but if it works for Tinkerbell, then it could absolutely work for Phoenixes.
We are going to have to start clapping for these chances because that is a fourth hatch going down before the third nexus is established. A Ling is even going to delay that third by further. He may even get this pylon. Never mind. Blink using to defend a pylon. You're not going to see that every game.
No,
to his great. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's not that big of a problem because Blink has, let's see, 10-second cooldown.
I know, but it's still very cute to see 9 Stalkers blink in to take out a Zergling. I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I have to agree. It's not all that often you see them blinking after the Zergling. It's usually plural, and it's usually the other way around, the blinking away from Zerglings.
Absolutely true. All we need is a Zergling lift by the Phoenix, and we have the full trifecta. The third is still not allowed to establish. This game sucks is going to drive once again JayPower to be a 1 base Protoss economically. This is really very strong play. Losing a couple of roaches to some very good force fields. But honestly, again, at this point, this game sucks is not worried about losing roaches. He is just fine with that. Trading roaches for map control and continued economic dominance is the way to go.
It is, and I really want to point out some things about JayPower though. Even though he's using a build that's... I do this as well. I love this build, but it's not quite that good anymore. But he is working with the Phoenix, and now they will get fungal and killed off though. But just take a look at it. They got 6, 4, 4, and 4 kills. And you're the guy with the math. I get that to 18 kills on those Phoenix. So he has been working with them. He has been getting as much use out of them as possible.
Absolutely. I mean, it's sad that he didn't get the overlords that he wanted. Oh, investors walking in. You don't want to do that. You want your meat shields to take the damage for you. A little bit of a misstep there. Charge is almost about to complete, and that could really help the Protoss opponent, but there's just too many speedlings on the low ground for him to fight there.
It sadly is. And now that a lot of these force fields have been used up as well, I don't feel like... I mean, again, this happens a lot when you're a Protoss. You get stuck between this rock and a hard place. You know that time bomb is ticking. The Great Despoiler is on its way. We can see it, and he can probably fail it. Now we see what could possibly be the last engagement with a ton of roaches just go into town on the Protoss army, and he more or less Jacob has to move out at this point, but he can't move out at this point because he doesn't have the force field nor the army to fight.
He can't move out because he's got no troops left after this fight to move out with. And behind this, Hive Tech's coming up. Remaxing units is coming up. Oh, it's a very bad place to be when you've lost to somebody before and you're losing to them again, and this is your tournament life at stake. But it's happening.
Yeah, we've got 2 kills on a Stark with 1 hit point. It's a beautiful thing. Sadly, not beautiful enough to last this game, and it is cold. It is over.
It's very cold. Hold me.